watching the Channel 2 News Morning Edition.
Wilson Arraignment, the man charged in connection with the disappearance and death of Ashley Johnson Barr, facing federal charges. We have the latest update.
It was April 18th of last year. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Road to Recovery, one man shares his story of going from hopeless to hopeful as September is National Recovery Month.
And hello, McFly, the DeLorean has landed in Anchorage. In fact, it is right outside our studio right now, but do we have enough road to get up to 88? We'll find out. The Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Wednesday.
Roads, Kari, where we're going, we don't need roads.
We've got the DeLorean right outside our studio. I'm freaking out.
Yeah,
You're freaking out.
we're all like
Howie,
our inner Back
this
to the
is-
Future.
I mean,
I used to
this
live
is
in-
you. This is
Oh,
your
I love
thing.
this
Yeah.
movie. I saw this movie in the theater when it came out back
You
in
were
the
like
day.
35.
Right.
Like that one, huh?
Lived in Rancho Cucamonga where you see the mountains and the filming and the scene. That's where they filmed at the mall over there by my house. But if we are using the roads, the roads are in good shape today for our
To head back to the future.
To head back to the future or the past, wherever they happen to be going. And if you're going to school this morning, a few hours later, about 9 o'clock in the morning, or to work, 48 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, and then your return trip about 3 o'clock or so, heading home, 59 degrees. Under mostly cloudy skies. So looking ahead, so mostly cloudy. It's going to be dark when we're out there with the DeLorean, but so we don't have to worry about the sunlight, causing any eye problems, but because we'll still be dark. But either way, we're looking at clouds today as we get close to 60 degrees, winding down our final few days of summer. So as we take a peek at our atmosphere, you think we're getting lots of rain, but high pressure nudging in out of the southwest, that kind of suppresses the atmosphere. It's going to give that push down instead of that lift. The rain likes that lift. It goes up and then it comes back down. We're not going to get that. So maybe a drizzle or a sprinkle or two. We're going to stay dry today with a good deal of cloud cover. So right now, 51 degrees in terms of winds, not bad right now. So I think it's not going to slow down the car. If we want to go back to the future, looking around Talkeetna, 45 degrees, Yakutat at 35, down in Kodiak, 49, Seward right now, 51 degrees with winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. Over in the bowl by the station, here we are, 51 degrees for our car, 51 over by the airport, 47 Hillside, and Eagle River is at 48 degrees right now. So today we're going to see a high temperature of 61 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Thursday right back up to 61, then Friday a little cooler, but we get to see more peaks of sunshine for our last day of summer. We'll talk more about summer's end in a little bit.
Fall's rolling in on Saturday. I
It's
said
warm
September.
enough, though, for the flux capacitor to function. So
I would think so,
At
and all that
least.
plutonium and
At
magnesium and all that stuff they combine in there.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Howie.
Well, in news this morning, first appearance, a man connected to the suspected murder of 10-year-old Ashley Johnson Barr facing a federal judge here in Anchorage.
41-year-old Peter Wilson had an initial appearance in federal court yesterday afternoon. Wilson, who is related to the family, is accused of lying to federal agents and could be indicted on possibly more charges later this week. A lone supporter, his sister, called to him as he was escorted out of the courtroom at the end of the hearing, her telling him, quote, "Mom said to tell you she loves you." Before the hearing, Wilson read some paperwork as he waited for his attorney. Onlookers, most appearing to be from law enforcement, filled the room. Wilson's sister sat in the back, fighting tears.
And an investigative narrative states that it appears that Ashley was murdered, but doesn't say how or why. That's part of the investigation, and it is still ongoing. And Wilson's connection to all of this is Ashley's cell phone.
She was a very responsible daughter of ours and sister. She did have a cell phone that night, that day, that evening.
Ashley's parents had been calling the phone all night, and according to investigators, it turned up in the coat pocket of Wilson, found ringing by a friend that Wilson had been staying with. And then there's this. Wilson had 2 hours that were unaccounted for earlier in the evening, around the time that Ashley went missing. He'd headed out on a four-wheeler to pick up 2 children, but returned to the home with no children.
So during that same window of time, Ashley's phone was geolocated southeast of the park she'd been playing at. A search of the path identified by geolocation led to the discovery of Ashley's body Friday afternoon.
Wilson, now accused of lying to investigators. They say he denied using a four-wheeler the day Ashley went missing. He claimed not to know her, that he'd found the phone late that same night, and that he didn't know the phone was Ashley's. The community of Kotzebue now responding.
I think it's going to mean a lot to the family and to the community just to see the amount of support, even if it's in visual, within, beautiful flowers. As a child, everyone has their favorite something. And so, having purple flowers is going to mean a lot to everyone and her family especially.
And from flowers to food, the community is getting ready for the 10-year-old's funeral. There are dozens of people that want to make donations to ensure that her burial is beautiful and meaningful to the family.
And if you're interested in donating, we have all that information available on our website. That's KTUU.com.
In other news this morning, moving to the next phase, Anchorage's plan to address homelessness is set to enter a new era.
So later this morning, the Anchorage Homeless Coalition will meet with Assembly members to discuss Anchored Home. Here's details from Channel 2's Victoria Taylor.
Homeless, by definition meaning without a home or permanent place of residence. For many in the state's largest city, this has become what that looks like. But it's not quite that simple.
The majority of the people that we interact with, that the outreach team interacts with and the police describe, are from Anchorage and hit a problem here and became homeless. But there are some people who came in hoping to find additional resources or came to Anchorage looking for something.
Hello, APD!
Collecting input from residents, homeless Alaskans, and organizations, the Anchorage Coalition to End Homelessness has created the Anchored Home Plan.
The point of Anchored Home is to make homelessness in Anchorage rare, brief, and one time.
Already the Muni has made some significant changes.
We've now placed social services in the police department. We have mental health resources coming out to people in the community.
Do you need help with housing? We have a social worker here.
Anchored Home will focus on housing and support systems.
A growing recognition, I believe, that just eliminating camps without really having resources and places for people to go to housing isn't going to solve the problem. And that's where I would argue that there has to be resource investment.
Improving public health and safety and getting to functional zero. That's a term coined to mean the demand for shelter is less than the supply.
There is also the story of many people who have a one-time challenge and with a bit of assistance move on with their lives and thrive and contribute to the community.
So keep in mind that this is a draft right now. Part of the Anchored Home Plan focuses on community input.
And last night, the coalition held a public forum at the Lusac Library for people to weigh in. There's still opportunities, though, for you to add your thoughts. For a link, you can look for this story at KTUU.com.
Well, in other news this morning, Stand for Alaska or Stand for Salmon. The two phrases have been drowning the airwaves through Alaska for a bit now. And this week, Alaskan families, businesses, and scientists all piling into an auditorium for a public hearing on ballot Measure 1. Yeah, the forum for the much talked about measure was hosted by Lieutenant Governor Byron Mallott, who last year actually rejected the application for the initiative as unconstitutional. Here's Channel 2's Derek Mittemeyer.
Opening statements from prominent ballot sponsorship and opposition.
That still enjoys wild, healthy, thriving, sustainable salmon fisheries.
Stephanie Quinn Davidson is a fisheries scientist who worked in salmon fisheries on the Yukon River.
We are at a critical moment in the history of our state. Our 60-year-old ineffective law that is meant to protect salmon habitat will not protect us from the worst effects of mining and overdevelopment on salmon.
Aaron Schutt, president and CEO of Doyen Unlimited, represented the measure's opposition.
Ballot Measure 1 would eliminate our science-based fish habitat protections and replace them with red tape and unclear, untested regulations.
Testimony against Ballot Measure 1 outweighed that in support of the measure at this event.
We need to strongly oppose it.
In the first hour, only 2 were for, 28 against. But Stand for Salmon Director Ryan Scriver thinks the imbalance is largely from being financially outgunned.
Well, our opponents are primarily deep-pocketed foreign mining and oil companies, and they've been able to pay people to show up at these types of events.
Stand for Alaska Vote No on 1 campaign manager Katie Capozzi says Alaskans land on both sides regardless of funding.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I think you have a variety of people who feel very passionate about this issue, and so whether they're being, whether they're on the company payroll or not, they have shown up to let their voices be heard.
And the next public hearing is scheduled for this Friday. That's taking place in Sitka. But as for next week, there will also be additional hearings across the state.
Well, now to national headlines this morning. An alleged incident from decades ago might be affecting Judge Brett Kavanaugh's future.
The woman who accuses Kavanaugh of assaulting her wants the FBI to investigate before she testifies. Here's CNN's John Lawrence.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh's vote for the Supreme Court was originally scheduled for Thursday, but now Kavanaugh and his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, are invited to testify about the incident Monday. However,
any talk of a hearing on Monday, frankly, is premature because she just came forward with these allegations.
Ford's legal team wants the FBI to investigate the allegations before testimony is taken. In a letter to Senate Judiciary Committee Chuck Grassley, Ford's lawyers say their client has received harassment and death threats since coming forward.
There must not be a hearing on Monday and then a possible vote on the nominee a day or two after.
But the White House says a federal investigation won't help.
They don't want to be involved. If they wanted to be, I would certainly do that. But as you know, they say this is not really their thing.
Most Republicans still back Kavanaugh, calling the assault claim
an accusation which he has unequivocally denied, and which stands at odds with every other piece of the overwhelming positive testimony we've received.
Some in the GOP also say Ford should give her side of the story Monday in front of the Judiciary Committee.
And I really hope that she doesn't pass up that opportunity.
The hearing should be as a result of the investigation. It shouldn't be a substitute for it.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And just yesterday, all 10 Democratic members on the Senate Judiciary Committee sent a letter calling for a federal investigation before the hearing.
Well, ushering in a new era, just today, South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un signed a peace agreement, North Korea agreeing to take more steps toward denuclearization. The agreements include a promise by Kim to permanently dismantle the North's main nuclear complex if the United States takes corresponding measures. Also, the countries plan to jointly bid for the 2032 Summer Olympics. Well, still ahead, McFly's marvelous ride right outside our studio. When we come back, we're going to go live with Channel 2's Victoria Taylor as she gets a tour of the time-traveling ride. A good Wednesday morning, everyone. Hope your day's off to a great start.
Ariane, correction, great Wednesday morning, because I don't know if you can hear Huey Lewis in the news out in our parking lot at the moment, Howie, but we have a very special visitor today.
One of my favorite movies of all time, and if he's going to try to hit 88 and go back to the future or back to the past, wherever he's going, we have ideal conditions out there. Not a lot of wind, kind of cloudy, but it's still dark at this hour, so the sunlight reflection is not going to really affect him either way. So in the Bering, high pressure is starting to move up out of the southwest. That's going to help with the storms over in the Bering Strait, moving across the state, headed through the interior, headed towards Alaska, because this high pressure is going to kind of nudge it and prevent it from moving down to the south. And then this high pressure is going to move off in a couple days, and it's going to open up the doors for storms out of the Bering to start moving in and changing up our fall-like weather into fall-like weather. So this morning we have another frost advisory until 9 o'clock in the morning down from Yakutat to parts of the Panhandle, and then Ski Lac Glacier, the glacier is going to be released today, but it should not impact Ski Lac Lake or the Kenai River due to already low levels of the rivers and the lake. So small impact event with the release of that glacier. So looking ahead, a lot of clouds today, minimal sunshine, but we get back up into the upper 50s to the lower 60s for highs. So very summer-like, with summer closing out our last few final days. Anchorage at 52 right now, Prudhoe Bay at 28 degrees. Down in Ketchikan, we're at 48. Cold Bay is at 44. Later on, look at the Panhandle. Lots of sunshine with temperatures in the 60s. Kodiak up to 60 under partly sunny skies. McGrath, 52 degrees. And rainy. So let's take a peek at everything I talked about. Here is a low pressure storm. It's going to continue to move towards Canada as high pressure kind of holds it from moving down to the south into our neck of the woods. But then high pressure gets pushed out of the way by this storm, stays to the south of us, opens up the door for storms moving in out of the west, bringing clouds. And yes, to kick off fall, looking at rain as well. Today, no rain though. Peaks of sunshine, cloudy though with temperatures above average. And Matsoon over in the Kenai, much of the same. Look at Palmer up to 64 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. So 61 Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we dropped down to 58, but great peaks of sunshine before, yes, the storms move in. Saturday, the first day of fall, looking at rain, cooler temperatures, but still above average. Our daylight, our sunshine starts at 7:36. It ends at 8:08. Not going to get to see too much sunshine today. A lot of cloud cover, but still above average for our final few days of summer. We're staying warm.
Yeah. Hello, Macari.
Think, Ariane,
Yeah.
think. All right, we're a little excited
We're getting
for
into
this.
this. There's a reason for the madness. All right, grab your Nike pumps and your hoverboards.
grabbed.
We are going back to the future on this Wednesday morning.
Channel 2's Victoria Taylor. She is live outside our studio in Midtown with a look inside one of the most recognizable cars to come out of the last century. Hello, Victoria.
Hey, Kari. Yeah, you hear that engine roaring? You hear the Huey Lewis playing in the background? That's right. This is not your granny's Camry, okay, that we're talking about. If your grandpa is Marty McFly or even Doc, this is your ride. We're talking about the DeLorean, all right? Not just a DeLorean time machine, all right? This morning we're actually joined by Terry and Oliver Holler. Oliver over here in the driver's seat. Hi, good morning. Oliver, you and your wife really took this on as a passion project. How did that come about?
Well, we're big fans of the movie Back to the Future, and we thought one day, wouldn't it be just the most fun thing in the world to drive a DeLorean time machine? So we built one.
And how's that gone so far?
Well, it's gone pretty good. We've visited 50 states and 28 countries so far in the time machine.
And in part of that, you've actually been able to raise some money for Parkinson's research?
For the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. About the same time we were building the car, they were building the foundation, and our goal is $1 million. So we'll see how well Anchorage can help us with that goal.
Sure. How can people help?
Come to CincyCon this weekend. You can sit in the driver's seat, have a photo taken for a donation. We even have a hoverboard. Look at this.
Of course
you can have
you
your
do.
photo taken hovering just a few inches above the ground.
Perfect. So Oliver, we're going to be checking back a little bit later in the morning edition, but I want to kind of tease our viewers a little bit. What is the coolest feature on the DeLorean?
Oh, well, you know what makes time travel possible, Victoria, is the flux capacitor.
Oh, that's of course.
Yeah, it's fluxing, so come see it.
So we're going to be checking back in with you guys a little bit. Kari and Ariane, I got some oogling over here to do with the time machine.
I'm Googling.
We're completely geeked out
That
right
is
now.
so cool. So you can actually see the DeLorean driving through Anchorage this weekend while the Hollers are in town for CincyCon.
All right, still ahead, rare video from Canada, a fire-nado with a mind of its own.
Plus, also from Canada, we may have found evidence that scrap from the Ice Age movies may have been real. Stick with us.
Good Wednesday morning, Alaska. Hope it's off to a great start.
Nice day to get outside, enjoy some of this weather before fall officially arrives. That's Saturday, Howie. Did you know?
Is that coming up?
It is coming up.
I got confused because I was going back to the future, so it was reversed, and then in the southern hemisphere, it's almost spring. So yeah, I appreciate you clearing that up for me. So here is your Back to the Future forecast right here for this morning. If you're getting out the door driving in a DeLorean, 49 degrees. Under a cloudy sky. So looking ahead, lots of clouds today, but we're going to warm up once again into the upper 50s or the lower 60s. That is above average, so it is not fall just quite yet as summer continues to hold on. So as summer does hold on, yes, it's going to be a short stay, maybe a jacket early on, but we're going to warm up nicely later on in the afternoon. Let's take a peek at our atmosphere. Now we have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, but with high pressure pretty close by, pushing down on our atmosphere, the most we're looking at is a drizzle or a sprinkle here, not looking to have any persistent or heavy rainfall today. And once again, as high pressure nudges in out of the southwest. So in South Central today, looking at temperatures around 60 degrees. Look at Seward, 60 degrees with good peaks of sunshine under partly sunny skies down in Kodiak up to 60. Homer up to 57. Willow with a high of 62 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. And Matsoon over on the Kenai, another warm day over in Palmer with a high of 64 degrees. Wasilla up to 59. Soldotna 59. And Whittier up to 57 degrees. So today a high of 61 degrees above average. So yes, still summer-like weather. Tonight we drop down to 45 degrees, pretty much right at our average low overnight. And then tomorrow, right back up to 61 degrees. We still have some clouds. Staying warm though, but still a great day to get out there and go back in time in a DeLorean.
All right, thank you so much, Howie. So the Baltimore Orioles making history last night, not for their playing on the field or anything like that, but rather for what they were wearing.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Special jerseys for a very special cause as they became the first American professional sports team to use Braille lettering on their uniforms during a game against the Blue Jays. So the special Orioles alternates were part of a promotion done in conjunction with the National Federation for the Blind, which happens to be headquartered in Baltimore. The first 15,000 fans also received a Braille alphabet card on their way into the park.
Very neat. All right, so a video posted to Instagram, it shows an unreal scene of a fire tornado pulling the hose of a Canadian wildfire crew high into the air. Yeah, check this out. So 3 firefighters, they're seen struggling to try to just control that hose as it's sucked toward the flames while a spinning vortex of fire appears feet away. Firefighter Mary, she shot and posted the video of the fire tornado, which formed southwest of British Columbia and was almost 200 feet high.
Firefighters are so impressive.
Whoa.
They run towards it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in other news, a caribou calf and wolf pup were dug up from the permafrost by gold miners near Dawson City, Yukon. So the 2 animal specimens, scientists say, are 50,000 years old, remarkably well preserved, with fur, skin, muscle, tissue still intact. Ice Age bones and fossils are often found in the Yukon, but mummified carcasses are said to be extremely rare. Very interesting.
All right, still ahead on the Morning Edition, a horrible crime out of Iowa, leaving a family not only in mourning, but looking for answers.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, September 19th. I am just grinning ear to ear. It's like Christmas morning, you know?
Yeah, SenchiCon for the weekend. Of course, the DeLorean right outside our studios, and we're all geeking out over here because Channel 2's Victoria Taylor's out there. We'll go ahead with her.
I might just leave you guys, honestly.
Me too. Can you either one of you do the weather?
Can you do the news?
Yeah, it can't be that hard, right?
Probably not. I can't. Well, no, you two probably easily could do the weather before I could be up there. No question about it. But yes, a great day. I'm a huge fan of Back to the Future. Looking ahead, if you're going to drive that car, we are looking at some clouds today, but not a lot of wind. And we are looking at some warm temperatures. So really a good day to get out, take a stroll in the DeLorean, hit 88 and shoot back in a time into the past or the future or wherever you're going. As we look at the atmosphere, now we have storms in the Bering Strait. Now these storms want to start to move down through south central, but high pressure nudging up out of the southwest. That is going to prevent these storms from moving down and pretty much keep them in the interior and push them all the way into Alaska before this high pressure storm gets pushed off from the west from other storms and really changes our fall-like weather. So right now we're at 52 degrees. Winds right now, calm if you're driving a DeLorean and you're going back to the future right now. Talkeetna at 45 degrees, Kodiak at 49. Yakutat, a little cool, 35 degrees. Looking at that frost advisory until 9 o'clock this morning. So over in the bowl, 51 by the station, 52 over by the airport. Hillside at 48, Eagle River at 48 up in Birchwood. 51 degrees right now over in Birchwood. So today we're going to see a high of 61 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Could see a sprinkle or a drizzle or two. More than likely, we are staying dry as we warm to 61. And then for Thursday, back up to 61 under mostly cloudy skies. And then Friday, we get a little cooler, but we see some more sunshine with a high of 58 degrees. That'll be our official last day of summer with fall starting on Saturday. I'm not sure if you're going to like what you're going to see, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
All right, in national news this morning, President Trump visiting North Carolina today to see the impacts of Hurricane Florence. He is scheduled to visit the Marine Corps Air Station, Cherry Point in eastern North Carolina. He's going to get an update on the storm damage areas there. Many parts of North Carolina flooded and still suffering from devastating effects from Hurricane Florence, which made landfall on the coast last week.
Well, speaking of Hurricane Florence, Michael Jordan, MJ, announcing that he and the Hornets are donating $2 million to help hurricane victims. So the North Carolina native is contributing $1 million to both the American Red Cross as well as the Foundation for the Carolinas Hurricane Florence Response Fund.
Walmart going the extra mile to help areas impacted. Trucks rolling to areas of the Carolinas devastated by Hurricane Florence, loaded with thousands of cases of water and supplies. So far, Walmart has shipped nearly 3 million cases of water to parts of the Carolinas as that region starts the recovery process. Additionally, Walmart and Sam's Club are matching customer donations for hurricane relief. So for each dollar donated, Walmart will donate $2 up to $5 million through September 21st. Customers can either donate in-store or online. Well, another news this morning, a murder on a golf course is sending shockwaves across the state of Iowa. A young champion golfer who was about to be honored as the Iowa State Female Athlete of the Year this weekend found dead after going out on the course alone.
And an apparent stranger is now charged with her death. Here's NBC's Blake McCoy.
A gruesome discovery on this Ames, Iowa golf course. College student and star athlete Celia Barquin killed. Her body found floating in a pond.
Officers did locate a body in the water, and she was subsequently identified as Celia. She had been stabbed in the upper torso, head, and neck.
She had been golfing alone Monday morning when police say she was attacked in broad daylight. Colin Daniel Richards, now charged with first-degree murder, had been living in the woods near the course, according to police. The criminal complaint says he told an acquaintance the day before that he had an urge to rape and kill a woman. Dogs tracked his scent and found Richards with fresh scratches on his face consistent with fighting and a deep laceration in his left hand. This murder apparently random.
Everything about this seems bizarre and unusual.
Yeah, I think all crime is troubling, but especially when it's in broad daylight out in the middle of a fairway in an area that's pretty easy to see from all the way around. We're actually surprised that we didn't have direct witnesses to the case.
Barquin's college now in mourning.
It's been really hard. You know, she's a huge part of our family, and, you know, we're broken and we're missing a part of who we are.
Her family, who lives in Spain, in shock. Her brother says the family is together, working through deep pain, struggling to understand why this happened.
And this is now the second college student to be brutally and randomly murdered in Iowa in just as many months, as Molly Tibbetts was also found dead about an hour away from that golf course.
Well, in other news, one of Elizabeth Smart's kidnappers is being released from prison today. Wanda Barzee aided in kidnapping then-teenager Elizabeth Smart in 2002 and helped hold her captive for 9 months. The Utah Board of Pardons announced Barzee will be freed from prison today after 15 years in custody because Utah authorities miscalculated the amount of time that she should serve. Smart has spoken out about how she believes Barzee is still a danger to the public and should not be released.
Well, still ahead here with us on the morning edition, dream drinks are all the rage now when it comes to getting a better night's sleep. But we're going to tell you what doctors think about sipping your way to bed. Stick with us.
Good Wednesday morning. I know I've been saying it a lot, but a great day to get in your DeLorean, head back to the future. Good conditions on the roads. Right now we're at 52 degrees. You wouldn't think so. As you look at our atmosphere, we have storms over in the Bering Strait, bringing some storm energy into the interior, bringing a little down into southern Alaska, but high pressure off to the southwest, pretty much keeping it, a lot of this moisture and energy from coming down as rain. And this high will eventually push the rest of the storm off to the east before the high gets pushed out of the way by some bigger and stronger storms out of the west. So in South Central today, above average temperatures once again, peaks of sunshine in some spots, clouds in others. Over in Palmer, another day in the middle 60s. Soldotna up to 59, Kenai up to 58, Whittier 57 degrees with some good peaks of sunshine with winds out of the west up to 15 miles per hour. So today a high of 61 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. We stay mostly cloudy again on Thursday, but back up to 61, a little cooler for Friday. But look at that, partly sunny, and storms, they do move in later on in the week, bringing us rain. Look at our first day of fall, 58, looking at some rain. We stay above average temperature-wise the rest of the week, but we do have some rain. But now I'm sending you back to my anchors.
Nice one, Howie. All right, so doctors say one of the top concerns that they hear from patients is having trouble sleeping. So Dream drinks, they're becoming very popular, and one product has actually made its way to Texas.
So while the internet is raving about this new sleep aid, doctors want you to know the risks before you pop it open. So Haley Hernandez reports in today's To Your Health.
Sip your way to sleep. This product is so popular, it hit Houston stores in August and has barely been in stock since. They contain melatonin, which is what your body needs to catch some Z's. It also has GABA and L-theanine, which are ingredients that doctors say are not as well understood.
And so these supplements have not been studied in pregnant women, have not been studied in breastfeeding patients, have not been studied in the elderly, and may potentially cause harm for some patients who suffer from depression.
While trouble sleeping is a symptom of depression, Dr. Lay says some ingredients of this drink may need to be avoided by those patients. The product comes with a warning on the box to keep away from kids under 18, pregnant or nursing women, and warns not to operate machinery or drink alcohol at the same time.
And of course, experts say you should always consult with your physician before you take any type of sleeping aid.
Well, still ahead, this season of America's Got Talent has been one to remember, and tonight we're going to learn who's going to take home the grand prize of $1 million.
Ooh. Plus, there's a new hot restaurant in LA, and in fact, it may be described better as a flaming hot. We'll tell you why. And recapping this morning's top stories, a man connected to the suspected murder of 10-year-old Ashley Johnson Barr facing a federal judge here in Anchorage. So 41-year-old Peter Wilson had his initial appearance in federal court yesterday afternoon. Wilson now accused of lying to investigators. They say that he denied using a four-wheeler the day Ashley went missing. He claimed not to know her, that he had found the phone late that same night, and that he didn't know the phone was Ashley's. So from flowers to food, the community of Kotzebue responding and getting ready for the 10-year-old's funeral. There are dozens of people making donations to ensure that Ashley's burial is beautiful and meaningful to the family. So if you are interested in donating, we have that information available on our website, KTUU.com.
Well, new this morning, a story of overcoming addiction.
From 14 up until, when I started staying sober, it was about 16 years.
Born and raised in Fairbanks, Arthur Stevens picked up his first drink at the age of 14, and from there, his road to sobriety hasn't been an easy one. He says as the drinking progressed, it also became his escape and how he dealt with depression.
With the way the drinking was going, I lost my house, I lost my job. Once I take that last drink, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where I really got to put in that work to heal from that 16 years.
So that's where organizations like Recover Alaska come into play. September is National Recovery Month, and Stevens hopes in sharing a story of sobriety is that it can help someone else see the light at the end of the tunnel.
If this has the potential to reach at least one person and potentially change that one person's life, hey, let's go for it. You keep pushing through that wall, those walls, you're eventually going to make it.
So there are a few more events scheduled for the rest of the month, both here in Anchorage and in Juneau. Next Tuesday, in fact, September 25th, Stevens will share more in-depth his story of sobriety at the Anchorage Community Theater. It is free, open to the public. It starts at 7 p.m. and will be stories of hope, addiction, and recovery here in Alaska. Of course, for more information, you can always visit recoveralaska.org.
All right, time now for a check of weather on this Wednesday. Good morning. Howie, fall is on the way.
Yep.
Fall's on the way, but you definitely wouldn't have thought so over the last couple of weeks. And I know our stretch of sunshine on it, but you know what? Staying above average and mostly dry, I don't think it's quite fall just yet. Summer's going to make the most of its last few days. So high pressure moving up out of the southwest. We have storms over in the Bering Strait, actually trying to reach down into southern Alaska, but this high is just strong enough, even though it's really not that strong of one. I guess it has to do with the distance over here to where the low is, preventing a lot of this moisture from coming down as rain. So going to keep us mostly dry and actually force these storms towards Canada. Now, as we make our way into the Gulf, we do have some storms, but these storms are far enough south, away from the Panhandle, to look at this, to create or allow for this to happen. 60 and sunny in Juneau, Skagway, 62 and sunny, the same down in Ketchikan, 62 under sunny skies, but some of the storm energy is moving through the interior. Fairbanks, 52 and rainy. Tok, 54 degrees, looking at some early bouts of fog. Over in Galena, 48. McGrath, up to 50, looking at some rain. And look at Fort Yukon, only a high of 49 degrees. Looking to stay dry, though, with a few peaks of sunshine. Not quite as breezy over Nukiavik today, with winds just out of the east at 15 miles per hour with a high of 39 degrees. Prudhoe Bay up to 43, looking at sunny skies. Down in Bettles, 49 with clouds with maybe a chance of some rain. As we make our way out to the west, over in Nome, a high of 52 degrees. Looking at some early fog, looking at some rain in Nome as well. Down in Dillingham, 57 degrees. Over in Bethel, 53 and cloudy. And over in Gamble, 51 degrees. Looking at some rain over in Gamble. So the central to eastern bearing is looking dry, but as you make your way a little bit to the west, storms starting to move up. St. Paul, 52. Looking at some rain today over in Adak, 55, and cloudy on Alaska, 56, with a few peaks of sunshine. So in South Central today, looking at some cloud cover for the most part, but Seward, 60 degrees today. Kodiak up to 60. Talkeetna, 58, and Glen Ellen with a high of 58 degrees as well. Matsoon over on the Kenai under mostly cloudy skies. Palmer does warm up into the middle 60s. Soldotna up to 59. Over in Kenai, we'll see a high of 58 under mostly cloudy skies. So today a high of 61 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Thursday right back up to 61. But then Friday, yes, a little bit cooler with a high of 58, but looking at partly sunny skies for our last day of summer.
All right, thanks, Howie. Well, grab your Nike pumps and hoverboards because where we're going, we don't need roads.
But we will need a parking lot because we need a place to actually park the DeLorean.
Okay.
Yes, we have a very special celebrity guest here with us this morning, and Channel 2's Victoria Taylor, currently live outside our studio. What an honor, with a look inside one of the most recognizable cars to come out of the last century. Hello.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys. So, you know, we couldn't have the DeLorean come visit us and not take a ride right now. I kind of feel like I need a red vest since I'm riding shotgun, like just to pay tribute to Michael J. Fox. But we actually wanted to show you what it's like to be inside of it. So here we go, Oliver. Are you ready? Should we close the doors?
Ready. Let's go to the future,
All right,
Victoria.
Oliver, here we go. Oh, I'm not as strong as you. Not as much practice. Here we go. Oh.
All right, got
we're
seatbelt
ready.
on?
Seat belted up, yes.
Let's do this.
All right, so we're ready. So guys, we actually are headed to 1988, February 8th. In fact, I wanted to go back 30 years. Thought that was a special day right there. Yours truly, my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks, Oliver. Pick the day. Why not? Head back. Yeah, cake and ice cream next time, or this time rather. So here we are, we're just cruising, and I told Oliver earlier, I was like, this is one of those cars you kind of can't help but feel cool when you're in it. Oliver, I feel to drive this thing, you know, now that you put all this time in it, and you guys have gone across country.
Well, yeah, all over the world. We've driven to all 50 states and 28 countries in the time machine, spreading awareness and
it's not, it wasn't a rebuild. Got the DeLorean and made it a time machine. What are some of these things that you use to outfit it with?
Oh, we did kind of like the original folks did it for the movie. We just looked for scrap yards, bits and pieces. There's a sink drain, and there's even a battery terminal cleaner. That's the part that Marty bumps his elbow on to turn on the time circuits. Just whatever we could find that looked like the parts in the movie.
Perfect, Oliver. And so I think this wrap around our parking lot, but they can't exactly do what I'm doing. Ride in it with you.
Oh, but they can climb into the driver's seat and have some great photos.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Kari, Ariane, back to you guys. I'm going to keep hanging out here.
So clearly our microphones, they have trouble traveling to 1988, but you could catch some bits and pieces of that, and you can catch the DeLorean at CenturyCon.
Yeah, this weekend. Good stuff there. We're like, we want to be out there and go.
Know.
All right, well, it is decision time on America's Got Talent. The season 13 winner will be announced tonight.
So the show's 10 finalists turned in their final performances last night. Here's NBC's Mark Barger.
I think some of you tonight are going to have life-changing moments.
AGT's 10 finalists each tried to make that prediction come true last night.
I always know it was a good performance when I had fun.
That fun spread over 2 hours with performances that were grand in scale and others
Are we happy? Yeah!
a bit more grounded.
I feel like a flea. I mean, those acts were just whoa. I mean, come on.
But each act started the night with a shot at $1 million. The challenge was seizing that magical opportunity.
I'm so happy because I was actually really, really nervous on stage.
It's pressure that comes with meeting your own expectations.
It wasn't as perfectly smooth as we wanted it to be, but we were so happy with how it ended.
Tonight's ending will see someone walk away with $1 million. A notion that's a bit overwhelming for a shy teen from England.
I do want to win, but I don't know, I just want to come in and have fun.
For most of the acts, there was a sense of relief after the show.
I feel like
I can go put my head on a pillow and actually maybe get some sleep tonight.
Having made that final bid for America's vote.
I think it was by far the best final we've ever had, and it's anybody's game.
Viewers will make that $1 million decision. Mark Barker, NBC News.
What were your eyes just got all big there? What were you looking at?
I don't know.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
all the
Just
acts
nothing.
and the hearts, the
or
magicians.
abs, or was it abs? Yes. The season finale of America's Got Talent that airs tonight. It's followed by the series premiere of NBC's new comedy, I Feel Bad.
All right, let's talk Cheetos.
I will, okay.
Flamin' hot ones.
Want to know why? Because a pop-up
Crazy.
restaurant in Hollywood, it's serving flaming hot Cheetos in ways you have never imagined.
This is crazy.
I know. The Flamin' Hot spot features fusion foods crafted by famed chef Roy Choi. The spicy sweet menu includes the Hot Cheetos burrito, Cheetos Sweetos hotcakes, and Flamin' Hot Chipotle Ranch wings. The restaurant says it is completely booked, I mean naturally, but it is currently offering a wait list. And if you can't make it to LA, you can have the recipes and ingredients delivered to your door through Amazon Fresh.
It's like the only chip that you can lick your lips.
Yeah, you get the pruny fingers.
All right, let's go talk weather here. Howie, good morning. What you got?
Good morning. I don't know about weather today because we're talking Cheetos, we're talking Back to the Future, so it's just one of my favorite shows today. 52 degrees right now. Winds are calm, so if you are cruising along in your car or a DeLorean, weather is very suitable. So getting out the door today, really all you're going to need probably are your shorts and a DeLorean if you have one. We're looking at nice conditions. We'll be a little cloudy today, but we're going to be above average temperature-wise. So the Matsoon over on the Kenai, Palmer, up to 64 degrees today under mostly cloudy skies, but still pretty warm. Soldotna up to 59, Whittier 57, a little breezy in Whittier, but still 57 degrees with partly sunny to mostly sunny skies, while still up to 59 in Kenai. 58 degrees, as I just said a moment ago. Looking ahead today, so mostly clouds today. Once again, some storm energy trying to move through the area over the top of some high pressure that's actually nudging in out of the southwest. But we're still going to warm up into the mid to upper 50s or even into the low 60s today, staying above average, so very summer-like, with fall just a couple more days away. So today a high of 61 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Could see a drizzle or a sprinkle or two, but we're going to stay dry. Thursday then, mostly cloudy, back up to 61, and then Friday, partly sunny with a high of 58, but then some storms as that high pressure system gets pushed down into the Gulf. Then it opens up the doors for storms moving in out of the west. And what does that say? Our first day of fall for Saturday kicks us off with some rain. And then we look to have rain Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But we stay above average with temperatures in the upper 50s. So what do you guys think about this? Where'd you guys go? What happened?
Oh, Howie, I know exactly where they are. One thing we like to do on the morning edition is have fun. We want to set you up for your day. You know these girls couldn't let me have all the fun. This is where Kari and Ariane are. Of course, as we've been mentioning throughout the day, you can check out the DeLorean Time Machine in person this weekend at SinchiCon. That's at the Denina Convention Center, Denina, downtown. That'll be the 21st through the 23rd. All right, we got a lot more to check out with this bad boy. Hope you're ready for your day. That does it for us.
Why
We'll
don't
see
I
you
get to
back
go
here
back to the
tomorrow.
future?